Yes, I'm Christopher Karaguezian from Tumo Studios in Armenia. All right, I work at Tumo Studios. I'm a designer. I'm a product designer. And at Tumo Studios is a free educational program in arts and crafts. And we also have a design, development, and production and sale part as well. Okay, so today my topic is vernacular design and what designers can learn from vernacular design, which is basically craftsmanship. So I want to start by talking about consumerism and waste. Design was once a tool for improving lives, to create functional, useful, well-made objects, to provide solutions to everyday problems. Today, fueled by marketing campaigns, design is obsessed with what is new, trendy, flashy, and fashionable, all for the sake of profit. This relentless pursuit of more is fueling a cycle of waste. Products are being produced in mass, there is no disregard for the environmental impact. Products are being made by unsustainable materials, polluting processes, and are being shipped long distances. Today, products are designed to be short-lived and dopamine-inducing, rather than enduring, destined for landfills rather than cherished for life. Globalization offers us unprecedented access to materials and production methods, but it also fuels the race for cheap and disposable objects. Local markets suffer, and we are blinded to the hidden costs. Even more, design and production are homogenized. People have lost the emotional connection they once had with their objects. And this wasn't always the case, though. Before the industrial era, people were forced to use what was available to them locally. They created objects that were necessary, useful, and beautiful. Craftspeople transformed locally sourced materials into tools, dwellings, and objects needed for daily life. Human survival depended on resourcefulness. Environmental constraints pushed them to be resourceful. Limitations foster innovation. Thankfully, today we do not have the same constraints, but our planet demands a new form of resourcefulness. We must rediscover the value of designing within self-imposed limits to support local systems like the local industry, local renewable material sources, and the local market, and prioritize sustainability and the long-term health of our world. While seeking solutions for a sustainable future, the wisdom of traditional craftsmanship is often overlooked. Beneath the colorful surface of rituals, customs, and folklore hides a wealth of science and design knowledge. Craft people offer us time-tested models of using materials wisely, creating durable and repairable objects, and a deep connection between user and product. In this talk, we will uncover the hidden knowledge of these practices. There is ingenuity in traditional craftsmanship and examples that can inspire us to reject our culture and chart a wiser course. So, vernacular design. What is vernacular design? Vernacular design is just the title designers give to traditional, everyday craft objects, dwellings, or tools because they surprisingly hold a wealth of design intelligence. Objects created by everyday people to meet their needs. Solutions that embody resourcefulness, cultural knowledge, and a deep understanding of user experience. Generations of trial and error have led to elegant and efficient solutions. Just as today's designers are trained to do, vernacular creators work within constraints imposed by the limitations of their resources. They are experts of their materials, they have uncovered hidden properties and have maximized their potential. Vernacular objects are created alongside their users, so they possess inherent user-centeredness. Vernacular design holds important lessons for designers. It is not about going back or copying them, but learning from the inherent values within. Hidden knowledge in traditional crafts. Within traditional crafts lies a treasure trove of knowledge developed through centuries of observation, adaptation, and deep connection to local environments. We will explore the following aspects of 4 case studies of vernacular design: source materials, how artisans use local sustainable materials with profound understanding of their properties; Craft techniques, the embodied knowledge passed down through generations, showing ingenious problem solving and skilled manipulation of materials. Function, how vernacular objects embody human-centered design principles, showcasing efficiency, adaptability, and offering solutions tailored to specific communities. Tradition and emotional connection, symbolism, rituals, and cultural significance that give objects a sense of belonging and longevity. So my first case study is the Mashrabiye that Muhammad mentioned earlier as well. I think the Mashrabiye is one of the most beautifully designed objects. Like it's a craft object, it's also an architectural feature. So it's an intricately carved wooden lattice screen, a defining feature of traditional Islamic architecture. The Mashrabiye serves a vital climactic, social, and aesthetic purposes. Believed to have emerged during the Abbasid era, circa 800 AD, likely in Egypt. Today it can be found in the Levant, North Africa, Arabian Peninsula, even reaching Spain and India. Within cities, it can be found on private residences and public spaces like mosques. Beyond decorations, Mashrabiyas offered privacy and played vital climatic role. It masterfully filtered light, modulated airflow, providing natural ventilation, regulated humidity, creating comfortable environments even in harsh weather. Its intricate patterns and craftsmanship added beauty and cultural identity to buildings and cityscapes. The Mashrabiya's genius lies in its interplay of wood-turning artistry and functional design. Wood is chosen for its thermal properties, workability, and ability to absorb moisture. The Mashrabiya allows natural temperature regulation and comfortable interior environments. Commonly local wood like pine, walnut, and beech were used. The assembly of torn pieces are joined without nails or glue. This method allowed for strength, adaptability, and easy repairability, therefore contributing to its longevity. The artisans shaped the pieces on lathes, creating intricate geometric patterns, floral motifs, and Arabic calligraphy. This meticulous handwork gave each Mashrabiya a unique character. Traditionally done by bow lathes and chisels, today electric lathes and CNC milling have streamlined production. But there is a risk of disconnecting form from function. Now, the Mashrabiya is a striking example of vernacular design wisdom. The Mashrabiya filters harsh sunlight, the rounded wooden pieces diffuse the glare. The varying spacing allows controlled seasonal light penetrations, warmth in winter, coolness in summer. The airflow regulation. The porous structure facilitates air circulation. The difference in air pressure inside and outside the building, coupled with strategically sized openings, generate a cross breeze. So you have warm air exiting from the top, cool air entering from the bottom. And humidity control as well. Wood absorbs humidity during the night and releases it during the day. Combined with evaporative cooling from water jars placed behind the screen. Okay, I forgot to add the water jar. There should be like a water jar there. The Mashrabiya creates a refreshing microclimate. And all right, so Mashrabiya comes from the word shurab, which means drinking. So it's kind of like the place to drink water. So water jars were placed behind the screen in ceramic pots, and this helped with with keeping the space cool. That's why it's called Mashrabiya, even though later iterances don't usually have the drinking ceramic pot. All right, social and cultural significance. The Mashrabiya's design offers residents privacy while allowing to an outward view. The more complex structure was, the more it reflected the owner's wealth and social standing. The intricacy became a marker of prestige. But through and all, the Mashrabiyas transformed plain facades into works of art. The geometric patterns, along with the light and shadow play, added beauty to the street. Deeply intertwined with the architectural language of the Islamic world, the mashrabiyeh gives an Eastern identity a tangible expression. The decline and importance of its revival. The 20th century saw a decline in use of the mashrabiyeh due to globalization, industrialization, Western influence, which led to changing aesthetic preferences. Industrialized construction, with its mass-produced materials and standardized designs, offered speed and perceived modernity. Influx of Western architectural styles made the mashrabiyeh feel outdated. Air conditioning technology made it easier to control the climate, negating the need for a passive design. However, today there is a need to reassess the mashrabiyeh wisdom. As concerns for energy use and climate change mount, the mashrabiyeh reminds us of the power of passive design solutions and the use of renewable locally sourced materials that have a lower environmental impact and connects buildings to the regional context. All right, the second case study is the tonir. Vernacular design is not always intricate patterns and complex constructions. Oftentimes there can be found elegance in simplicity. The Armenian tonir is a traditional clay oven. It utilizes locally sourced materials and time-tested techniques to achieve remarkable functionality and energy efficiency. The core material of the tonir is the clay. It is carefully chosen from the surrounding environment. The practice of kneading the clay by walking on it barefoot ensures a consistent mixture. This method offers an alternative to mechanized processes as it provides the builder with tactile insight into the material's properties. The construction process shows us a sensitivity to material behavior. The clay is coiled meticulously and layered to create a tall cylindrical form. The artisan has to stop and wait for the layers to dry so it does not collapse under its own weight. The process takes around 10 days. Once completed, the tonir is seasoned with a small fire, a process that strengthens and prepares the clay for cooking. This patient and meticulous approach is important. The clay is from natural sources, so there are no chemicals or treatments involved to strengthen it. The artisan has to listen and feel the clay as he builds up the tonir. Any wrong step and the tonir might crack under the heat. The oven's shape and heat distribution allows for the baking of lavash, a type of thin flatbread, and other dishes. The tonir's remarkable heat retention uses very minimal fuel and operates for a long time, so it is ideal for communal settings and bakeries, in contrast to energy-draining alternatives. Right. The third case study is the briq. The briq is a uniquely shaped water pitcher that holds a special place in Lebanese heritage. Still in use today in rural villages and traditional restaurants, with a history stretching back to Phoenician times, it embodied a tradition of craftsmanship, healthy living, and sustainable practices. There are two forms of the briq, in clay and in glass. Clay is the original design. It offers the most health and environmental benefits. The porous nature of the local clay allows evaporative cooling of the water, naturally chilling it. We see the same aspect with the mashrabiyeh. The alkaline clay also balances the pH levels of the water and imparts beneficial minerals. The glass brick, while not porous, still offers a sustainable alternative to plastic bottles. Clay bricks are traditionally crafted on pottery wheels. Body and sprout are done separately and then joined together. There are two kinds of glass brick production, hand-blown and ones that are using molds. The hand-blown bricks offer unique artisanal qualities with subtle variations. The mold-made bricks provide uniformity but lack the individual character of handcrafted pieces. And here you can kind of see an example of how design started out with clay and then moved to glass. It was blown glass first and then mold was used. And you kind of see this thing where the product is losing functions but keeping its form. And we'll come back to this idea later. All right, so the brich is perfect for communal drinking. Its shape allows for a controlled flow of water directly into the mouth, away from the lips, a hygienic practice in shared settings. This act of passing the brich and sharing water reinforces a sense of hospitality and connection. The fourth and final case study is the Karaguezian chair. The Karaguezian chair holds a remarkable position within Lebanese design history. Inspired by the European tonnet chair in the late 19th century, forgot to include a picture, it embodies a unique blend of influences, local adaptations, and a deep connection to cultural identity. Crafted primarily from beechwood, a strong and workable material, the Karaguezian chair was built for longevity. The chair could have been used both indoors and outdoors. The seat was made by woven rattan that contributed to its comfort and breathability. The Karaguezian chair was a beautiful combination of traditional techniques and efficient mass production methods. The distinctive curves and the wooden frames are achieved through steam bending, a process involving softening wood with steam and shaping them using molds. The chair utilizes a system of screws and nuts for efficient transport and assembly. The Karaguezian chair was comfortable, affordable, adaptable, and durable. Here you can see the chair was used in during a concert. So this is a pre-plastic chair world in the 60s. So the chair was very famous in Lebanon. The chair was produced by different craftsmen across Lebanon, with every region and every craftsman giving the chair a unique twist. Although adapted from the European tonnet, it still maintains a strong connection to vernacular design principles, as it was tailored to suit the Lebanese cultural context and utilized local materials and local craft techniques. So I chose this chair because I think it's a very rare occasion where when a product starts out as an industrial design object and it goes vernacular, and usually it's the other way around. So much so that the chair has become a cultural icon in Lebanon, and you can still find it practically anywhere. Right. While iconic objects like the mashrabiyeh, the ibriq, Karaguezian chair, or the tonir hold immense value in their traditional, cultural, and historical contexts, a concerning trend is emerging. Traditional objects are being reduced to surface-level symbols, their true values and functions becoming obscure. This superficial treatment ignores the profound lessons these artifacts hold for contemporary designers. Here we see a designer that, they beautifully illustrated how the mashrabiyeh is worked, how the artisan starts out with the small pieces and refines it, and you get the mashrabiyeh pattern in the end. But unfortunately, this approach kind of reduces the values found in these objects. True vernacular design is rooted in functionality, resourcefulness, and a deep connection to the needs of the people who create and use these objects. Designers have a crucial responsibility to understand why these vernacular objects were created and learn from the values found within. So here we have another example of, again, patterns just taken off from mashrabiyehs, from other functional objects, and used as decorations. Again, I really love this chair, and I think it's an homage to the craftsmanship. But this risks superficiality, because these might be good examples, but we also have really bad examples. An example for a tonir that's electric in nature, and just looks like a tonir, and or a plastic ibriq that they just taken the shape of it, and it loses all value and meaning. So, what can we learn? I thought the best way to talk about that is through an example. Klima Walls is an architectural research project. It's a passive cooling system using clay tiles that are fitted to the facade of the building. Moisture and flowing water is absorbed by these tiles, and as the wind blows, it induces evaporative cooling, not unlike the evaporative cooling systems we've seen. This creates a microclimate around the building. Unsurprisingly, the students who worked on this research project were inspired by the mashrabiye and the porous pottery that induces evaporative cooling. Together with computational workflows and robotic 3D printing with clay, the students created complex functional geometries, and there's no electricity involved. They believed that the system could play a role in countering global warming and rising urban heat island effects. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any question?
Thank you so much, Christopher. I had one question. The last example that you gave was something made by Tumo Studios. The next. No, the really last one. The tiles, in fact, the bricks, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this was made by Tumo Studios students? Oh, okay, no, I thought so. Yeah. Anyway, do you know if it has been tested on real-life building? Because I see samples here.
It has been tested, but I don't think it's been integrated yet.
Okay. Do you know why?
No, actually.
Okay, right.
But I've seen the research paper, and they've tested like really well. I guess maybe they're looking for manufacturers to produce it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Christopher. It's very thought-provoking. One thing that I was thinking while listening to you and examples was this ethical aspect. And do you think maybe that speaking about innovation that goes through crafts and design, we should also speak about some sort of responsibility of carrying further? And if so, when does this responsibility start? So does it start in the way which we educate? Does it start even earlier?
I definitely believe it starts during with education. I gave the example of craftspeople being sustainable and ethical and all that, but that was never intended. It was kind of forced to be that way. When you're forced to just use what's available to you, and for centuries that's been the way humans have lived, then you get sustainable results. But today we have the option not to be sustainable, and doing a bit more research, trying to uncover a little more, I think is enough to start thinking in terms of sustainability and ethical design.
Over question?
Thank you for your presentation. My question is for the picture and the product come from Armenia or the other land? The product and the picture for the architect
for the mashrabiye.
No, architecture.
Which one?
Vernacular architecture.
No, it's South America. But you can see similar.
Yes.
This one. Yeah. This is from South America, but you have similar constructions in Iran, in North Africa, a lot of the places. That's this is like for me the best example of vernacular design, because you're taking the material that's literally right there and transforming it in a way that's very innovative, I think. And in architecture specifically today, you see this problem where designs that work in the US or work in Europe are taken directly and put in locations that do not support that design. That's why air conditioners need to work much more heavily, and there's a lot of energy consumption just to keep a place cool, where alternatively you had buildings that you just used natural resources, natural orientations, and achieved almost the same effect for basically no energy cost.
About the Karaguezian chair, I hope I say it well. Okay. So you told us it was inspired by an already existing one,
Yes.
a plastic industrial one. So why was there a need for Libanian people, I guess, to make their own?
I don't know. Actually, I tried to find out who brought it first,
Right.
and I don't know how it started. I really want to discover that. But at some point, everyone started to make this chair. So here you have a different version of the chair that's square from the bottom, and it's using leather for the seat. So every artisan just took the design, and I don't think there was any patent issues at those times. So and they just transformed it, and it kind of became a vernacular design after that. Where you see the round version.
Yeah.
But it used the local wood and the local, I think rattan is bamboo, I think. Then the seat.
Bamboo, right? Ah, rotin.
Rattan.
I don't know. I don't know exactly. But okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for we've been traveling with you into Lebanon and from time. I have a question about when you say the risks of imitations, and you mentioned the brick, the toner, the mashrabiyya, and everything. Everything has been imitated, and you've been talking about it. It's like something really bad, but don't you think that imitation can keep actually the product alive, and like imitation make creation after all? Like for you, what is the risk of imitating something? Because in my point of view, I think imitation can keep the product alive actually, even if it's not the same product or if it's not the same size, but at least we have something that keep remembering us from the real product. So I would love you to talk about the superficial imitation.
Okay. When I talk about superficial imitations, I'm mainly talking about the aesthetic aspect that is always taken. Like, there's a reason why rugs are made in this pixelated form. It's the manufacturing process that gives you that pixelated aspect. So when you take that, let's say that aesthetic language, and you start printing it on other things, you're kind of diminishing its value, in my opinion, at least. So you're just seeing this object superficially, while that object has much more depth in it. Like for the rugs, for example, that they're used as they have insulation properties. They're used for storytelling, and they have much more functions. And this here I'm asking designers at least to look into that the deeper level, deeper layered functions that these objects have, and not just rest superficially. And a problem I've been seeing in Armenia or in Lebanon or many other countries is where just to sell traditional objects, businessmen are no longer going to artisans for them to make things, and maybe Muhammad can agree on this. A lot of businessmen are taking these designs and sending it to China so someone else could manufacture it, putting it, the same design can be put on mugs, can be put on different things, and you're selling it as your culture. And I think that's really diminishing, both for the craftsmen and the values that these objects have. So,
the industry actually.
yes. Again, I really like these objects here, and I think these are good, like homages for these objects. But it doesn't stop here. People just keep. What's the word? Oh. You get it.
So, thank you for your presentation. I have a question. My question is, are there any innovative approaches or technologies being used to enhance the functionality and aesthetic of Mashrabiyah in contemporary buildings?
I think the only example, like very direct example I've seen is the tiles. Even the structure is kind of similar to the beads of the Mashrabiyah. Look, the Mashrabiyah isn't this ideal, perfect system. I'm sure if you had one at home, you were gonna be hot in the summer, yes, and you were gonna want to have air conditioning. These technologies were, where is it? All right, these technologies at the time of conception, they were at the top of the science and technology that they had during the day. It was very innovative for the day, and it had values. Today, I'm not saying we should take a copy and just rebuild these old things, just to understand their values and try to innovate within these values. And I think organically you're going to have objects in the end that will look like the Mashrabiyah. Let's say, if you take the idea of passive cooling, for the example, that's what you learned from the Mashrabiyah. You're going to kind of end up with a product that's valuing this old craft.
Thank you, Abshi. Thank you.
Did I answer your question, or?
No, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. I feel like I went some.
See? Hello. During your conversation, I found an interesting article about the Karaguezian chair, which is actually born in 1990 to the 1890
okay,
to yes, to the new century. And it's written that this chair is inspired by it depends by the Austrian on the famous French Tonnet chair.
Yes.
But very famous in Lebanon, of course. And nowadays, this traditional chair made once on the classical French or Austrian chair is moving back from the Lebanon chair back to the European style. What is very so interesting connection between not only tradition and modern fabric, but also gives some multicultural effect of the whole thing, and it's really very, very interesting. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. If you can share that article with me, I would love to read it.